I've got some huge plans for this YouTube channel heading into the summer and beyond, so please stay tuned for this update video as well as a little bit more transfer chat on Newcastle United. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Before we start, you'll notice a change of the name and a change of intro as well. I've just updated my little intro jingle because it signifies a new chapter for the channel, and I'll get into that today. Before we start, please continue to support the channel by liking, sharing and subscribing to the channel and the videos. It really does help. As I keep saying, over 1,000 of you have subscribed to me now, and I really appreciate it. But the bigger the community gets, the more I can do videos. So please, if you haven't already, hit a like on this video and subscribe, because it does make a huge difference. I've got some transfer stuff to talk about in the latter part of the video, but I want to just explain what's happening with the channel from now onwards. Really, basically the big news is that the Exploring Football moniker that I had, and I tried to go in a different direction with the channel at different times in the last year, has gone. I'm stripping it back to just my name, just my profile, just talking about Newcastle United, 100% Newcastle United now from here on in. And also, crucially, there's going to be daily uploads from June 2nd. Next Monday, I'm going to be uploading a video every morning from hopefully before 10 o'clock in the morning as well. Monday to Friday. I've really enjoyed the interactions that you guys give me, and I can see what you guys want from the channel as well, and I do really appreciate all the support. So as I say, the Exploring Football thing was a good idea. I thought I really wanted to go and try other things and tell other stories on the channel. As I say, I'm a freelance journalist, so I look elsewhere away from Newcastle United, but the logistics of that didn't really pay off. I wasn't covering Newcastle matches as much, so I was a little bit unsure about how I wanted to approach this channel, but then got accreditation once again towards the end of the season, and I'm very hopeful that that's going to continue beyond the summer. So we're going to really focus on Newcastle United with daily uploads from June 2nd. That's the big news. Every day, Monday to Friday, before 10 o'clock, there'll be a transfer update. There'll be talk about possible targets, what should Eddie Howe do, anything and everything Newcastle United. Let me know in the comment section what you'd like to hear from me. I'm open to suggestions, and also, would you like to see some live streams come back? I had some big plans with live streams, had some good early success, and enjoyed interacting with you guys on transfer stuff. And then as the season went on, I kind of lost confidence with it because my timings weren't right for the match reactions, and the uptake seemed to dwindle a little bit. So let me know what you think about live streams coming back, because I'm very open to that. But I really am hoping to get to a new level with this much more focused, much more streamlined channel, videos, podcasts, that sort of thing. Lots more of me talking about Newcastle United, because you guys seem to really enjoy it. I just wanted to say thank you so much again for all the lovely comments, because they really do make a huge difference. I love reading them. I'm really appreciative for you taking the time to watch my videos and interact with me, and let me know your thoughts on what's happening at Newcastle United, which seems to be an overwhelmingly positive trajectory at the moment, despite obviously what happened with Paul Mitchell yesterday. If you haven't already, go and check out my reaction to Paul Mitchell's departure from yesterday. There's also a video on the channel from Monday talking about Callum Wilson. There's also my instant reaction to the Everton game and Newcastle qualifying for the Champions League from St James's Park on Sunday as well. Even though it looks like it, I haven't started my daily uploads. This will be the last upload of this week before we get going with the regular slot. Hopefully, as I say, before 10 o'clock in the morning every day, talking about Newcastle United. Let me know and say in the comment section what you'd like to see from the channel going forward. If anything different, it's very much more focused on Newcastle United. I've tried different things, and that's I think the freedom of having a sort of smaller channel, if you like, and trying different things, and had some success with it. But as I say, I think I've always come back to wanting to talk about Newcastle United, and this is the space I want to do it in, as well as writing about the club for Forbes and for 442 and BBC and other people as well. If you want to follow me on X and Blue Sky, you'll get more Newcastle United thoughts, but also thoughts on articles on other things as well. But this is the home for Newcastle United content only going forward. So thanks so much for everyone who's joined me already, and please do, if you haven't already, subscribe. That's the big update every day from June 2nd. Let me know what you want from the channel, and let me know if you're excited for that as well. Really appreciate all the comments and all the questions and all the interactions that you give me as well. I know you're also here for transfer news and transfer updates, transfer thoughts. A bit more news on Bryan Mbeumo and Marc Guehi this morning from Luke Edwards in the Telegraph. We'll touch on that just before we go. Both players are seemingly the top targets. I think we've sort of alluded to that in the Q&A video that I did, and also there's a huge update about Mbeumo a couple of weeks ago with the price that was set for Manchester United to apparently bid, but Newcastle are apparently ready to make this bid, and it all feels like it's coming together off the back of Paul Mitchell departing, and we talked about domestic targets against European targets, and I've got plenty of time to go into all of that this summer now with my new announcement, but this really feels like it could be a goer. Certainly the interest in Marc Guehi was driven by Eddie Howe last summer, and Bryan Mbeumo is a Premier League proven right hand side player, and that they have been heavily linked for a long time. So it's not a surprise that Newcastle are ready to make these moves with so much headroom and such an ability to spend in comparison to previous windows this summer. So there could be serious movement on this within the next couple of weeks, I think, and that'll be very, very interesting to see if Newcastle can pull off one of those signings. Obviously the transfer window opens for 10 days on Sunday, so theoretically it could be done very, very quickly, and there could be a Newcastle player before even halfway through June, which would be a massive boost, especially after the sort of nerve-wracking experience. People have asked in the comment section below about negotiations and what Newcastle should do in the aftermath of Paul Mitchell. Someone said, I think a technical director is more likely. I think that's a very fair point, because the recruitment situation has been taken over by Howe, his nephew Andy, and Steve Nixon, as I've said, and negotiations in the interim will be taken over by Darren Eales, I think. But while there's a search, and that he's going to leave very, very soon, and the new CEO will come in and set the tone. But I don't think a new sporting director is likely, certainly not this summer, and that really makes these domestic targets most likely. There are plenty of targets that have been drawn up from abroad as well. I know there's been lots of nerves and people saying that Eddie Howe only wants to sign English players and he doesn't want to sign players from abroad, but obviously they've had success mixing both, and I think that will continue. So we'll get into all of that later, but Mbeumo and Guehi, it's not a surprise to find out, are the top targets this summer. We've already sort of covered that. I said that I thought that those two positions would be domestic targets, more proven players, because that's what Eddie Howe likes, and then maybe looking at new markets and better deals and cheap gems and all that sort of thing for other positions like goalkeeper. Juan Garcia has been mentioned, Martin Bacharino. We went into great detail. The Croatian midfielder last week was heavily linked, and strikers from abroad as well, Jonathan David being one who's very much on that list, as I've said many times. So I don't think people should be so quick to jump on what's going to happen this summer in terms of only domestic targets, only European targets, whatever. I think it's going to be a good balance, but this is a very, very good start, I think, for Newcastle to go after Marc Guehi and Bryan Mbeumo. Marc Guehi was not at the right value last summer because of 65 million price tag and the fact that he had 2 years of his contract. He's only got 1 year now. It makes much more sense if the deal is right, and there is a real belief that they can get both of these players for sort of maybe 85-90 million pounds, which would not be bad value at all, considering their excellent performance. 20 goals last season for Mbeumo in the league, which is just incredible from the right hand side. The Marc Guehi situation, I think lots of people were irked by the value of that deal, but not the player himself. So if they can get both of those through the door, that would be an absolutely brilliant start to the summer and a brilliant start to the next phase of the project. And hopefully the next phase of my project, this YouTube channel, will be just as successful. So thanks so much for joining me. As I say, I really appreciate all your support this season. Every weekday you'll get a transfer video or a piece of content from me. So subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell to make sure you don't miss any of these videos. And I will be back on Monday to kickstart the new phase. Thanks so much, and I'll see you then. Cheers.